Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4, and today we're looking at Dead by Daylight, the board game. Now, I'm Lipstickpaddy, the host of this channel. Invite you to this channel if you like board games that are live on Kickstarter. Now, this is splitting the community right down the middle. This is very, very, let's just say, tenuous. Firstly, you need 3 players. Yeah. There's certainly going to be no solo or 2-player. You want 2-player game? Nope, not happening. Yep. One's going to have to be the killer, and you're going to have 2 people running around because it's balanced that way. So forget about any 2 or 1 player. It needs 3. So yeah, that's the first kind of quibble. I guess the second is Dead by Daylight trademark the board game. Is this just an IP name? Because you're not bringing any of the famous horror heroes from the video game over, like Freddy Krueger, you know, Jason Voorhees. No, all the killers are basically not famous ones. You know, some of them are coming from the game itself, but you know. For me, this would have been far more stronger if they did have horror movie IPs coming over, and I don't know why they don't approach them and ask if they can come over, because, you know, it's not like this is going to sell a gazillion copies where they're going to have to pay, you know, just give them 1% of the profit, you know, if they're going to bring it in, because I'm sure it's going to bring more fans in. Anyhow, it's not using the IP as it could, unfortunately. And the other thing is, of course, what it looks like on the table. We'll go down and have a look at that. But yeah, it's gone back really successful so far. Over 4,000 backers, over 250,000, heading towards 500,000. Now, level 99 is the devs that are making this, in conjunction, of course, with Behaviour Interactive. You just see these up here now. Behaviour Interactive, they are mainly focused with IP video games, and it's a bit of a shame that they couldn't bring the IP over. That's like a big disappointment, I guess, for any fan of this game or anyone who's interested in this to be a kind of a horror. Now let's get down to the way these have been painted. They don't look very good quality. In fact, the minis themselves are quite big. They're bigger than normal. I think the player should be playing, if you're not the killer, they are something like 40 something millimeters, and the killer is taller, could be 50 to 60, I think it is. So yeah, it's certainly not going to come painted. You'll have to do that yourself. There's no plans for painted editions or anything like that. So yeah, it's a 1 versus many survival horror. Now it says critically acclaimed. It isn't critically acclaimed at all, this video game. I mean, it's got a Metacritic in the 70s. It was plagued originally with bad netcode. You were more likely to die with the game disconnecting rather than the killer getting you. And the free-to-play model, it's now classed as pay-to-win. So, you know, the video game has problems. It's more of a Twitch video game than something you want to buy and play yourself, is my opinion on it. And then, you know, death is not an escape. Now, it says 45 minutes. It's fairly quick, actually, for a board game. And, oh my goodness, another quibble by the community is this coffin box for the collector's edition. They want 2 boxes. It makes sense to do 2 boxes, really, because you know, you could potentially sell the second, you know, the collector's edition stuff. You could probably sell that as an expansion in the retail space where this thing is headed, because the collector's edition is adding 2 boards amongst other things. So, you know, it's something you might want to pick up then. And it is, of course, costing double of the main box. So, and I think that the art on the box, I think it looks terrible. Really? I think it would look better with all the heads of all the killers that you get in the collector's edition, because you're going to get all of them. That would look way better. Now, they have got these strange daily updates. There's no stretch goals, no daily stretch goals. We don't know what's going on here. But hopefully they do address the box. Now, you might be thinking, why is Lipstickpaddy talking about the box when everyone's screaming about this board? Yes, I understand this board is a work in progress and it is going to get updated, is what I've heard. It's partly because the board is too dark. The board has small spaces for these areas. Why isn't it bigger? I mean, if you look at what Fantasy Flight have been doing with the Arkham series, they've ended up going with giant hexes for the spaces just because it looks more pronounced on the table. The locations look better if they're like a big hex grid, and then you could potentially randomize the map, how that map is laid out. If you do big hexes like that, I think that would be quite cool. I don't think you need a board, because if you look at the size of the locations, it translates really to a deck of cards. You could just put these cards out. They do have these funky lines moving around, breakable walls and stuff like this. The killer can like break through stuff, get to you faster, things like this. So, they have got this up, but they need to do something, because as many people might think, this looks like it's a Windows 98 game, because it looks like it's all Windows, doesn't it, with the bar at the top, the grey bar at the top with the minimize close button on it. It really does look like Windows 98, doesn't it? 95 on desktop. It really looks like it was designed in a game jam. Designed very quickly just to see if it worked. Like mega prototype is what it looks like. So hopefully they're going to do something way better. I think it looks super prototype. I would be surprised by the end of this campaign if they don't show you what the new boards look like, because this does look so bad. But at the end of the day, this is a $50 game. It's like a $50 retail game is what we're looking at here. So yeah, fingers crossed to get rid of this Windows 95 feel and actually design it like a big house or a big asylum that you're running around, instead of just these randomized squares knocking about. It just feels weird. Large player boards here, where you put cards down for your abilities. I really disdain the art from these cards. It might be okay as an icon in a video game, but as an image on a card, it's terrible, isn't it? It just looks rubbish. You could have an image of what these look like, especially, if some of these characters have these 3 abilities. Why don't you draw the character art doing the ability? You could actually put character art abilities in here. That would make it look a lot better. Certainly with the villain one. Why can we not see the killer's cards doing something horrendous? It's got 17 plus on the box. Why can we not have some art of the killer doing his special moves? It's just an icon that you'd find in a game that you put on a taskbar. Right, so, questions about these vault icons and stuff. Like, people have got genuine concerns with what's going on here. Gameplay is sound as a sound, though, yeah. You'd be going around trying to start electricity up, start generators and stuff. And your movement is hidden from the killer. if you get to a generator though, you're going to be rolling a dice, and there's a 1 in 6 chance you're going to fail, and that's kind of going to break. That'll make a noise. And the killer has like a bar that will start going up, and they get stronger in the game as he keep making noises or he catches you. That's the thing. There are cards that you're going to be picking up, objects and things like this, and the killer's not really going to kill you. He's trying to grab you and stick you on a hook, and that's where he starts to get stronger. You're going to be on that hook until someone comes and grabs you off it, which is so you could be there for a couple of rounds waiting for someone to heal you. So yeah, basically, if you're not the killer, moving around, getting cars, trying to get generators, trying to unhook your friends, and then get to the gate and escape. There's a couple of exits on this, so it's not like the killer can kind of, just sit by the exit. As a killer, hunt them down and attack them to wound them. Yes. Drag them to a hook to make sacrifices. You'll see that they get stronger on the chart here. 8 sacrifices, you win. It's a bit of a bad mechanic, that, isn't it? 8 sacrifices, you win. As a killer, you've not killed everybody, but you've got the 8 here. It's a bit of a meh. Anyway, what's in the box? Well, first of all, this thing's shipping in October this year, so it's ready to go out the gate. This thing's very, very retail-esque in its presentation. In fact, when the campaign ends, the pledge manager's going to open a couple of weeks after, and they want you to pay shipping very quick. So yeah, 35 to 40 mil, the minis, that's pretty big actually. 32 is the generic size for board games, and 40 to 55 for the killers, which is very sweet indeed. $50 or $49. How much is this going to be at retail? That's the bigger question. Are you actually getting a good saving here? Because large selection of minis here for $50. That's pretty good value. Just the minis alone. Never mind the game. So yeah, player boards. Would love to see the player abilities with the art of the hero doing it. The killer boards, would love to see the art of the killer doing the things like brutal strength. Let me show me a picture of that trapper doing this. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shame. It's a shame that they're not doing this. It seems almost a little bit. I didn't want to put too much time into that, or couldn't afford an artist to do this. So on that, it feels almost like a bit of an indie project because it's doing this. And these boards certainly smell of an indie project, don't they? I mean, look at the background to the places. It's just like this hexy grid. It's like... They just look like cards put down on a board. They do look like a Windows 95 screens. It really needs an update. Hopefully there's going to be board updates that come out on the project, because I don't know, it just looks like one of the worst board game designs I've seen in a horror game. I don't know, should they do giant hexes for these locations and let you randomize it up? Because the links that are linking these things together, you could definitely make them like they have in Arkham Horror. You just put bridges to these places, or little connectors that tell you how you're going to move across and stuff. It could totally be done like that. Yeah. And the boards aren't that big, So these icons are very small. These places are very small and iconic from places in the game. So, yeah, do big things, big damn hexes, baby, and get that art bigger. And it can't stay like this. I can't recommend the game if the board looks like this. It looks so prototype. These cards here, they look like so basic. I mean, how long did that take you to throw together? Just... And again, these like survivor cards, you could totally throw these together so quick. It looks almost like a fan-made project, the way they've made these cards. You know, take an icon from the video game, leave it in the same shape, put it on a background, a copy background of just this grey, boring crap background. It just looks so fan-made, doesn't it? Doesn't look official. Does not look official. Items that you're getting, look, these are even icons. Can you not put some artwork with these things? I mean, what's going on here? I mean, I've got Monster Slaughter, where you play as villains trying to take out NPCs. That's got beautiful art across that on every card deck. It's a beautiful horror game. What is this? It's like prototype. Feels like prototype or a fan-made project is what it looks like. So yeah, not impressed with these components. Really not. You know, you've got tokens for some specific abilities with some of the killers. Danger die, you know, there's these two types of die. So if the killer comes into your space, he might force you to roll the danger die instead of your skill check die, and yeah, there's a higher chance of getting hit with the killer. But even so, is it like 2 of the 6 you're going to get damaged by the killer? It's still like you might be scratching your head as a killer that you keep getting bad luck when you're fighting them. Right, it does have the MSRP on this collector's box, and yeah, it's a coffin box. Not a lot of people like these. They stick outside of a Calyx box. You've got to put them on top of your Calyx box, and this box, as it is ugly. It is, isn't it? Yeah. Extends the minis out. Of course, these minis aren't even designed yet. It says revealed at a later date. Does that mean they're going to be revealed during the campaign? Because if these aren't finished, this estimated delivery here might be pushed a little bit. Because they are hoping to get this to you by Halloween this year, which would be very, very cool if they could get that. But, I mean, the only way they're going to get it to you in October is if it's finished. And so hopefully this is the content that will get revealed during this campaign. A little bit confused about this one though. It's 16 killer minis plus a Victor mini. Where's Victor? Who's Victor? Like, I don't know. Can someone tell me who Victor is? But look at all these. I'm sure. Are they going to be revealed during the campaign? Because if it's post-campaign, this is not coming October. I'm telling you now. You do get hooks for the minis, which are kind of cool, and the generators, that looks nice as well, with these pips. I think these are like these 3 things that you've got to push inside the generator. So that might take 3 dice rolls to get them. Dice rolling's not too bad. I mean, there's only 1 die face on the 6 that fails, so wouldn't be too. It's pretty generous. Generous. So yeah, more player boards and more killers. This is kind of nice if you want to complete the collection, but you get these 2 nice boards as well. More locations. Still got the Windows 95 feel, and you're not going to get away from that. You get more of these cards and more of these, like, not happy about this, you know what I mean? More of these tokens. It's got a retail feel, peeps. That's what it feels like. 1 video. Massive concern is the board being too dark, actually. So here we are, daily updates. Like, you should be getting daily updates anyway. You shouldn't be like, should it really be presented like this? And it doesn't look like there's going to be any content unlocked. I really don't know. Hopefully there is, like, new board art, new card art, new minis to show that, this is what I can kind of expect, but new daily update is generated every day, up to a maximum of 24 active at the same time. This is funny from Eurogamer. You'll be hooked because they've not even played the game. And on the Eurogamer article, people are complaining about that article, saying they've not even said you'd be hooked in the article. So where have they got this from? I don't know. In fact, this concern of quotes coming from made-up quotes or wherever they come from. It's funny because if you go to the Wikipedia of the video game, it tells you that the critical scores are like from IGN and GameSpot are like 90. Whereas if you look at those sites, they actually put them down in the 60s and 70s. So they've actually like lied on the Wikipedia page about the ratings, which is like super disingenuous behavior interactive. But this is level 99 that are creating this game, so it is what it is. Shipping prices in the US actually not bad, is it? 24. Starting to see prices of big boxes going above 30, so US getting hit there and all that stuff. Like, fund it if you dare. What kind of quote is that? Now, the game has been developed it's been in testing, I think, for 8 months. So there's a lot going in this. And you would have thought in that 8 months they would have done something to the board. Maybe that's going to be addressed. But Francesca Romero, with the layout designer, I really want to know what you're going to do with the board. It can't be left, surely, as it is. There's a whopping 90 questions in the FAQ. Should we have a look in there? Why not? Is more going to be added later? Anything could happen. So there could be an expansion in the future on Kickstarter, maybe. Are you going to include the licensed killers? No. Nope. Will the collector's edition be available post-project? Who says post-project? Post-campaign? Post what's talking about? Not going to retail? Nope. You might be able to get them from Level 99's official shop. Any discounts on games on the late pledge? No. Go to our website is what they recommend. Can I upgrade later? If I get the standard edition now, can I upgrade later? No. I'm pretty sure when you go to the pledge manager, you should be able to upgrade. I think that's what the question's about, isn't it? No, they're doing the coffin box, aren't they? They're not doing 2 boxes. They could definitely sell you an expansion or the upgrade if they did 2 boxes. I got to scratch my head at the coffin box. I've really got to scratch my head at that. No stretch goals are coming. It is what it is. It's retail. I guess the Kickstarter stuff is that big coffin box. Yeah, 60 centimeters. How to play videos are coming up. Yeah, so more videos coming during the campaign. Minis are not coming painted. And all that stuff. You're not going to get solo or 2 player. Now, peeps, let me just talk about this game because, we had Beast kickstarted last year. It's on pre-order now. And on Beast as the monster, You are being hunted in that game, and as a beast, you're doing stuff to level yourself up and become stronger and stronger. And then there's a turn in that game, whereas the beast, you then turn on the hunters. But in this, as a killer, you're just bouncing around hoping you find one of these people running around. It's very kind of simple as the killer, and you don't. Can you really be feeling thematic as the killer when every killer is putting people on hooks? You know, it kind of takes away their charm and uniqueness of the killers when you're hooking them all up, doesn't it? Whereas in the Beast game, you know, the killer gets their own, you know, massive player board, and they get a nice screen with all their art on it and all their abilities, and they can level up their own different way, and the beasts are fantastic. And in here, the killers are very kind of simplified, and for $99, man, you can get the Beast all full in collector's edition with that. I put a link of my video up above. You can check out Beast. Amazing Kickstarter. If you want this kind of one versus many, because I don't think that this really caters the IP properly. I think it's got the name of the IP, but I don't think the gameplay it's going to feel fun. Actually, I think once you've played a few games of this, you might feel a bit. Whereas in Beast, you know, you'll definitely 100% in Beast want to play the hunters. You'll definitely want to try and play the beast, the different beasts. You want to feel that asymmetric gameplay. But in this, the asymmetric gameplay of the killers is so simplified, it doesn't kind of look interesting to play that role. And if you are coming from the video game industry, you know, the beauty of board gaming is all the genuinely new IPs. So if you do look at that Beast video that I did, you will see what a new IP can really give you for excitement. But here, they're bringing the worst part of the IP, which is the icons, the generic pictures, and the killers and that you created. Whereas really the reason people got excited about the video game was because of these licensed killers that were coming in it. So do we recommend it? Not yet. They are going to be revealing stuff, and hopefully this bloody board gets fixed. You're going to be hoping for a miracle for these icon and cards to get redone, because it really needs another pass on the art. It looks prototype, and no way can I recommend a prototype looking game. I've said that the board could possibly get converted into large hexagons, as Fantasy Flight have done with the Arkham series, Arkham Horror. That used to be like this, and they realised that it would look better with big hexes showing off the art of the locations and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an interesting title. It's got a ways to go before I can recommend it. But with 22 days to go, and with 20 updates still to go, peeps, hopefully something can happen on this Kickstarter campaign. But at the minute I can't recommend it, but if anything changes, I will do a final thoughts on Dead by Daylight, because I think potentially they can turn it around. Question mark. But this is level 99 Games we're talking here, and I do respect them as a publisher, so potentially they have got some things to surprise us with. And if there's any theme this week, it's the idea that people love surprises. So hopefully we will see some magic happen on this Kickstarter. But if it stays as it is, with the icons of fan-made Origin look like, and the board like a Windows 95 screen, I think it's IP by name, and that's as much as you're going to get. And really, it's just a $50 retail game That's pre-ordered on Kickstarter with nothing else. So, can we expect better quality? Yeah. I mean, you are getting a lot of minis for your $50, so yeah, worst case scenario, you've got some minis. Mm-hmm. But let me know down in the thoughts, in the comments, please, what you think of this. How do you think it can get better? Is there any suggestions for what you think it needs to get before you will back it? Because obviously it needs a lot for me to back it. It needs a lot. But maybe for you, you're not as... maybe your standards are not as high as mine because you are a mega fan of the IP, and maybe it's just the board that needs fixing. I'd be interested to know what if there's only a few things that need fixing for you, because 4,000 backers seem to be happy here, but there's going to be a lot of people on the fence. How many $1 pledges are there? There isn't a $1 pledge that we can see. It's kind of a hidden $1 pledge. Okay. Well, 4,000 committed anyway, it looks like. So yeah, and if you think I've been unfair about this, please let me know where I'm unfair and why you can, argument that comment politely, please, and don't be nasty in the comments, please, because when I do these videos with negativity, I seem to get a lot of hate, and that's not very constructive in the comments, is it? And really my editor is just removing anything with hate in, so if YouTube at all lets it through, because it is blocking hate messages and things like this, so yeah, and all that stuff, please give the video a thumbs up, and think about subscribing if you're not a subscriber on the channel, if you like live Kickstarter board games and all that good stuff. I will be coming back talking about this on my Sunday podcast, to look out for that. So I will mention if any updates are happened this week, but look out for final thoughts if something changes, because if the game gets better because of the updates during the campaign, I will do my due diligence and come back and be happy that it's got better. But as it is, it's a little bit of a ouch when I come here. So yeah, not doing the IP. It's not treating the IP respectfully at this stage. So there we go. Well, I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.